using a Carrie Stevens pattern today called the Larry Special. About 2 months ago, end of April, I think it was, I tied a fly called the Larry, which I guess would be the cousin of this or the other way around. And in that video, I have more information about Larry Parsons, who this is named after, but he was well known on the Rangeley region. He and his wife bought a camp up there, and he eventually even had the mailboat delivery route in the upper dam in that area. A little bit of history about him, but this fly was tied for him. Pretty straightforward in terms of very much like a lot of her feather wing streamers. There is tag, tail, floss body and rib, and the wing on this. Just handsome color combination. So that's the Larry Special. I get started tying. I'm going to start the Larry Special with my hook in the vise. This is a Partridge CS5-9X. It is a 9X long streamer hook, a little bit lighter wire. You could use a CS15 if you want something a little heavier, a little bit longer on this. Just remember the hackles for the wings on these have to match up with the hooks. So mine are just a little bit shorter. If I used a much longer hook, I wouldn't have had enough for the actual fly. So I went with just a little bit shorter, a little bit lighter hook on this. There's different reasons for going for different hooks, but that's why I did that one. I debarbed the hook. I'm going to attach my thread. The Larry Special here has a black floss body, so you could just attach a black thread on here if you want. I'm going to use the Danville 3.0 mono waxed monocord here, simply because I already have it in my bobbin and it's ready to go. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to lighten up that black floss or anything. I'm going to run my thread down the hook shank. There is a tag and tail and rib on this, so I'm going to get a base layer of thread here, and I'm going to stop about 3/4 down the hook shank to attach my tag on this. Tag is a silver tinsel. I'm using the Danville's number 10 silver and gold Mylar tinsel for this. Tying a lot of these different streamer flies, you end up with a lot of little snippets like this from various flies and everything. So it's nice that you can always have a little, 3 or 4 inch section that you can use to tie in these tags on these. I'm going to anchor that down, wrap my thread down along the hook shank, keeping it nice and smooth down to the end of the body, which will be about on this hook right between the point of the hook and the barb. And then I'm going to come back up to where I tied that in, then I'll apply that tag. During that tinsel in, I can now put in the tail section. Tail section is just some orange hackle. Because the throat is also orange hackle on this, and I'm going to use some orange Schlappen for that, I'm going to go ahead and use some orange Schlappen for the tail as well. I've got a feather here, got some nice long barbs on it, and I'm going to separate, I don't know, maybe about 3/8 of an inch, a little over 1/4 of an inch along that rachis, a nice good clump of these barbs off of there, get the tips evened up, peel those off. I'm going to tie those in so they stick out past the tag here about a quarter of the length of the shank, maybe even a quarter past the bend of the hook if you want it a little bit longer. Secure that in, a couple of wraps. Now I'm going to take some more of that silver and gold tinsel. This is going to be my rib. I'm going to secure that with the gold side out. One wrap will hold that in place. And then I'll attach the floss. I'm using a Danville 4-strand Rayon floss in black. Go ahead and bring that under the thread here and attach it over on my side. I want the tag end of that to go up about halfway up in the body. You could have it go the whole way if you want it a little bit smoother. I find on these flies, because of the tail section here, you're going to end up with a little bit of a bump back here. There's different ways that you can mitigate that you can try and get around that for a smoother body. If you're going to, say, frame this or present this to somebody, these are going to be fishing flies for the most part, so I'm not that concerned about having just a little bit of bump back here on this. Now I'm not putting wax on my thread because this is already a pre-waxed thread. It doesn't have a huge amount of wax on it, but it does have enough to grip the materials a lot better, and enough so that right here I don't need to put any wax. You could, if you wanted to put a little extra wax on there, you could do that. I'm going to wrap that in, trying to keep a nice smooth underbody here as I bring my thread forward. Into the end of the body, into the head space there. Now I'm going to apply the floss for the body and the tinsel for the rib. You probably notice I have a number of stray fibers here on this rayon. I don't know if it's the floss itself. Sometimes these synthetics, if they're old, they're more brittle and they break. It is more than likely rough fingers are breaking some of that as I'm applying this. Again, as a fishing fly, I don't think that that's really going to be that big of an issue. I can trim these before I put the rib on, but keep that in mind. If you find that you have some floss doing that a lot, it could be the floss itself, or it could be your own hands and just needing to maybe take an emery board to your fingers, a little bit of hand lotion to your fingers to help soften those up. With those frayed little bits all trimmed back, I'll apply my rib. tinsel secured, I can trim away the excess. Bringing my thread forward, I'm going to switch over to my orange thread. So the head on the Larry Special is a black head with an orange band. I'm going to use an orange. This is a Danville 70 Denier in orange. And I'm going to put this on now and actually have a base in the head of orange, because then that orange band will stand out better than if I try to put a black head in there and put an orange band on top of it. It darkens up the orange. Some wax on my thread. I'm going to attach this, securing in the white thread. Trim away that tag in the white thread. Now bringing my thread back to the end of the head space right here. There's no underbelly on this. There's just a throat, and the throat again is some orange Schlappen. I've got 3 little groups or bunches of Schlappen already picked out from the feather. I'm going to tie those in, one on the bottom, one on each side. My throat tied in, I'm going to secure all this down, smooth all of this off, tying in the wings. On a nice smooth platform for tying the wing in. So the wing on the Larry Special is one white hackle on the inside, flanked by a black hackle on the outside, and just a cheek of jungle cock. There's no peacock herl in this or anything. It's just those 3 feathers on each side. I'm going to tie in the first one on my side so you can see where I'm tying this in. Fairly straightforward fly. Pretty handsome actually, with the black and white and the orange in there. Kind of has a Halloween kind of fall motif going with it. I'll tie the other wing on the other side. I want to make certain that I'm getting my tips evened up, as well as the base of the wings right up front here. Secure that in and take a look at what I got. Now I'm going to bring my thread down to the eye of the hook. I'm going to put some wax on my thread. I'm going to shape the head here and clean it all up. Then I'll secure that with black thread and put the black bands in. Put a little bit more wax on my thread. Here I'm just trying, I've got everything pretty much covered up, but what I'm trying to do is just shape this a little bit with some thread wraps right in the middle. Bring that out just a little bit. Bring my thread back, a little bit more wax, and I'll put in my whip finish to secure the orange thread. And I'll attach my black thread. I'm using a Danville 70 Denier in black. Some wax on my thread. I'm going to attach this on the back side. In the back section here where the black stripe's going to be, black band I should say. Get a few wraps in moving backwards to jam that tag end down. I can trim away the tag end. Now I keep wrapping backwards to the back of the head, making certain that I've got all that covered and wrapped. Then I'm going to move forward a little bit to the front part. I want to have this 3 equal bands of black, orange, and black. Small space, so be careful not to get carried away. It's very easy to put in more wraps than you need. You just want to cover up that thread, and you don't want to bulk it up too much. Putting in a whip finish with the black thread right there. You can put that in by hand if you want to. I sometimes do. It's a little more comfortable for you. Trim away the black thread. A little more wax on it. I'm going to reattach right behind the eye of the hook. Moving rearward to capture that tag. And then work on that rear band. Put a little more wax on my thread here. Just helps that thread from sliding around on itself and the orange so much. Keep going till you get that front band about as wide as the orange. A little more thread. Four or 5 turn whip finish. Trim away the thread, and our Larry special is pretty much done. Put some head cement on the head here, and then I'll come back and put 2 coats of clear lacquer on here. Clear lacquer is just to protect those thread wraps a little bit. So there is the Larry's special. Handsome little fly with the nice colors and everything. The orange and the black and white in this. Thanks for watching today. Thank you for joining me at the Vise today. I hope you learned a new pattern, at least a tip or trick here and there. If you'd like to help Dress Irons, you can like, comment, share, subscribe, all those wonderful things for the video. You can also head out to dressedirons.com where you can buy flies, tools, stickers, and merch. Or you can join a growing community over on Locals at the Dressed Irons Fly Tying Guild. You can also donate to Dressed Irons if you want through the link at the bottom of the description. I thank everybody for their ongoing support, as it really does help the creation of these videos. But what's important is to remember, only fly tying. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.